الحمد لله الذي نور العقول بالعلم ونور القلوب بذكره ونور النفوس باتصاله بحضرة سبحانه وتعالى، والصلاة والسلام على الذي أرسله الله بالنور بمحمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم وعلى آل الأطهار وأصحاب الأخيار وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تعالى في سورة البقرة: وإذا قيل لهم لا تفسدوا في الأرض قالوا إنما نحن مصلحون إلى آخر الآيات. صدق الله العظيم. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: وإذا رأيتم الله لعبد ما يحب وعلى مقيم المعاصي فإنه استدراك، أو كما قال رسول الله صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم. رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم الخير بك نستعين يا أرحم الراحمين. ربنا زدنا علما وارزقنا فهما. All praises are definitely due to Allah, the one who has illuminated the minds for knowledge. All praises are definitely due to Allah, the one who has illuminated his hearts for his remembrance. All praise is due to Allah, the one who has connected each and every one of us here today for his remembrance. All praise is due to Allah, the one whom he has sent as the light of guidance, none other than Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. And we send abundant blessings and salutations and peace upon his family members and his noble companions. We ask Allah, the Most High and the Most Supreme is He, to make it easy for us and not to make it difficult. We ask Allah, the Most Majestic and the Most Noble is He, that He grant us knowledge and grant us understanding. Ameen, thumma ameen. My dear, esteemed and handsome and beautiful brothers and sisters in faith and Islam, our beloved Prophet, the rising star of Madinah al-Munawwara, the cream of creation, the intercessor of sinners, he said beautifully concerning Surah Al-Baqarah, the chapter concerning the cow. And according to some of the ulama, it is said that Surah Al-Baqarah was one of the first surahs to be revealed in Madinah al-Munawwara. Surah Al-Baqarah was one of the first surahs, one of the first chapters to be revealed upon the Prophet ﷺ when he was in Madinah al-Munawwara, the illuminated city. Excluding the verse يَوْمَ تُرْجَعُونَ فِيهِ إِلَى اللَّهِ, that on that day everyone will return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Most High is He, meaning the day of judgment, excluding this verse. But most of the verses from Surah Al-Baqarah was revealed in Medina, according to some of the commentators of Al-Quran al-Karim. And Surah Al-Baqarah, the Prophet ﷺ said about this beautiful surah, says, لَا تَجْعَلُوا بُيُوتَكُمْ قُبُورًا, that do not make your homes as graveyards. Do not make your homes cemeteries. Meaning what? Void of life, void of blessing, void of any good doings, any good actions. Indeed the one who recites Surah Al-Baqarah in his home, يَنْفِرُ الشَّيْطَانِ مِنْ بَيْتِهِ, the devil, Satan, the shayateen runs away from his house. And in another narration it's mentioned that he runs away, he escapes from that home by passing wind. Out of the fear he has for that home, where that home has been recited Surah Al-Baqarah. This is the merits, this is the virtues of the individual, of that person who recites or reads Surah Al-Baqarah in his home. The devil runs away by passing away out of fear. In another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says, "Inna likulli shay'in sanam." That verily, indeed, everything has a hump. Meaning everything has a peak. وَإِنَّ سَنَامَ الْقُرْآنِ, and indeed the hump of the Quran is Surah Al-Baqarah. Prophet ﷺ said what? That verily everything has a hump. And the hump of the Holy Quran is Surah Al-Baqarah, the chapter concerning the calf of the cow. Hazrat Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, the second leader of the believers, the one whom the Prophet ﷺ said about that when Hazrat Umar would walk, the devil would run away from him. This was Hazrat Umar. That even Satan himself failed Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala, and Allah be pleased with him. And Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala took 12 years to learn Surah Al-Baqarah and its rulings. Hazrat Umar, but he accepted Islam later on in his life. And it was said about his son, Abdullah ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with both of them, that he took 8 years to learn Surah Al-Baqarah and its rulings. This is not only the hifz, the memorization only. This is pertaining to its memorization and its rulings. This is why Abdullah ibn Arabi, may Allah be pleased with him, he mentions and he says that his scholars, his teachers, says that in Surah Al-Baqarah, Alif al-Hukum, that there is 1,000 rulings, wa Alif al-Khabar, that there is 1,000 sayings, wa Alif al-Nahl, that there is 1,000 prohibitions, wa Alif al-Nuh, and there is 1,000 commands in Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter concerning the cow. One day, and this hadith is recorded in Jami' al-Tirmidhi, may Allah be pleased with him, whereby the Prophet ﷺ ba'atha Rasulullah ﷺ that he sent out a group of people for a conquest. The Prophet ﷺ sent out a group of people for a conquest. And from amongst them, he chose a youth, a young boy, لِحِفْظِهِ Surah Al-Baqarah, because he had memorized Surah Al-Baqarah. So then the Prophet ﷺ said, اذهبوا, go with them, فَإِنَّ أَمِيرُهُمْ, for indeed you are their imam, for indeed you are their leader. So the Prophet ﷺ chose a young boy, a youth, to lead this procession of companions, to lead this set of people, to lead a young boy, a youth. Why? The Prophet ﷺ said, because he hifdhihi Surah Al-Baqarah, because he had memorized Surah Al-Baqarah. We can see the honor and the status the Prophet ﷺ showing us that he made amongst them in the gathering for those who are going on the conquest, those who have memorized Surah Al-Baqarah. Why? Because he knew what it entails. He knew what it meant in Surah Al-Baqarah. And this is why the Prophet ﷺ said to the youth, "Idhab, go! فَإِنَّ أَمِيرَهُمْ, for indeed you are their leader, you are their Amir." Because he had memorized Surah Al-Baqarah. One day, Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala, Allah be pleased with him, there was a poet at that time, and he accepted Islam. And this poet, when he accepted Islam, he passed by and Hazrat Umar saw him. And Hazrat Umar said, "Oh, recite some poetry for me, recite some qasida, some qasaid." So then the man started to recite Surah Al-Baqarah, Alif Lam Mim, Dhalika al-Kitab la rayba fihi. Then Hazrat Umar was shocked. He said, "Wait, hold up. I never asked you to recite Surah Al-Baqarah. I asked you to recite some qasida, some poetry." The man said, "When I accepted Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Most High, as He revealed upon me and enabled me to memorize Surah Al-Baqarah. After that, I never recited any qasai, any lines of poetry ever again, except from the surahs that which I memorized. So when Hazrat Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, heard this, he gave him 1,000 dirhams as a stipend. And he added on an extra 500 dirhams as a stipend. Just because he memorized Surah Al-Baqarah. Imagine if people were to memorize. This is how you encourage others. And this is what Umar was doing. Just by memorizing and reciting Surah Al-Baqarah, he gave him 1,500 in total of dirhams and money. Just because he memorized Surah Al-Baqarah. If we were to follow and proceed of the companions, how would the children react today? How would the youth react today? How many people will be zealous in coming to learn Surah Al-Baqarah? But we show them the keys to real knowledge is not this. My child, pick up your books, go to university and study a PhD, a diploma in science, in engineering, etc. And even our governments in Whitehall, Youth Training and Entrepreneurship Partnership Program, you have heard about it before? You know what they do? They follow the same pattern of Hazrat Umar with regards to this youth who memorize Surah Al-Baqarah. They gave you a stipend to come and learn graphic design. They gave you a stipend to come and learn agriculture. They gave you a stipend to come and learn these things. Same pattern of Hazrat Umar. People follow Islam. But we as Muslims who born and bred, we will implement it. And that being said, my dear esteemed brothers and sisters in Islam, this brings me to the topic of discussion, which is the lessons we can learn from Surah Al-Baqarah, the chapter concerning the calf. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in verse number 11 of Surah Al-Baqarah, the chapter concerning the cow, the chapter where the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, whosoever recites it in his home, the devil escapes, the devil runs away from that house. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Baqarah verse number 11, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. And it was said to them, whom? The hypocrites. And the hypocrites amongst the Jews. Who are the hypocrites amongst the Jews today? The Zionists, the political movement from amongst the Israelites. If you look, remember the Quran has never been sent to the Prophet and his companions only. The Quran has been sent from until the end of the day of judgment. The Prophet ﷺ, his Quran was revealed upon him and it will last until the day of judgment. And the rulings will apply until the day of judgment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. And it was said to them, do not cause mischief on the earth. This was said to whom? The hypocrites. And the hypocrites amongst the Jews. And what did they say? When it was said to them, do not cause mischief, do not cause corruption. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ قَالُوا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ. What they said? They said that oh, indeed we bring about goodness. We cause righteousness. After the 7 days of ceasefire, my dear esteemed brothers and sisters in Islam, what you see is happening. Just this morning again, they bombed the strip again. They bombed Gaza after they saying they will ceasefire. After they were saying that our people will come and aid and help the Gazan people, the Palestinian people, after Hamas and Israelites and the Prime Minister of Israel started to exchange the hostages, after that what happened again? Did you watch the news? Everyone has a television in the house, which is television is the biggest dajjal. What is said? After the ceasefire, they started to again to cause corruption on the land. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says what? وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. It was said to them, do not cause mischief, do not cause corruption. When people are trying to bring about goodness, to bring about righteousness, they said, قَالُوا إِنَّا نَحْنُ مُسْلِمُونَ. We bring about righteousness. What do they say? What we are doing is right. The people of Palestine deserve this. This was their words. This was the word that they deserved this. They brought this upon their own selves. This is what they said. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ قَالُوا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُسْلِمُونَ أَلَا إِنَّهُمْ هُمُ الْمُفْسِدُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ Behold, beware. They are the one who cause corruption on the earth. أَلَا إِنَّهُمْ هُمُ الْمُفْسِدُونَ وَلَكِنْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ But they do not perceive, they do not understand. What does this mean? It means that they think that what they are doing is right because of the illusion. Because they become so delusional that they think what they are doing, that it is an act of justice. That they think that what they are doing is an act of righteousness. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? أَلَا إِنَّهُمْ هُمُ الْمُفْسِدُونَ وَلَكِنْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ Behold, beware. Know that they are the wrongdoers, that they are the ones causing the corruption in the face of the earth. وَلَكِنْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ They do not perceive that. They do not feel because their heart has been blackened, because their heart has been wiped away from that which is the truth, because that which is the reality. It was said that before the advent, before the coming of the Prophet ﷺ, the entire earth was in turmoil and calamities and misfortune. Before the advent, before the coming of the last and final messenger, Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the entire world was in the face of corruption. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the last and final messenger, Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the entire world was in a state of peace and goodness. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Ahqaf that indeed do not cause corruption after it was put good. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, do not cause corruption after it was put good. What is meaning? Because when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the world before it was in corruption. And when he said Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam put it into goodness again. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, well, do not cause corruption after it was put good. And what are they doing today? They are causing more corruption, more problems. Who? The hypocrites. And the hypocrites among the Jews. The Zionist movement. And Allah subhanahu continues in the Surah Al-Baqarah. وَلَكِنْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ قَالُوا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ أَلَا إِنَّهُمْ الْمُفْسِدُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ قَالُوا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ It was said that on the day of judgment, those amongst the hypocrites, those amongst the Jews, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they say, يُخَادِعُونَ اللَّهِ, that those who try to cheat Allah, those who try to cheat Rabbul Izzah, Lord of Honor, those who try to mock the people of Islam, those who try to mock the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, those who try to mock Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, on that day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will mock them. يَخْدِمُونَ Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will mock them. That on that day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will build a door, and the hypocrites and the Jews and the disbelievers will be in the hellfire, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make a door towards Jannah, towards paradise, and He will call them towards paradise, and they will be in swinging, they will be full in flames, and they will be rushing to the door of paradise, to the door of the gardens of Jannah, and then when they reach the door of the gardens of Jannah, it will be shut, it will be closed from them. Some of the the commentators have mentioned that this is the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will mock them on the day of judgment. They try to mock Islam. They try to mock Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They try to mock Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. On that day, يخادعون Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will mock them. That Allah will place them in the hellfire. They will be roasting, they will be blazing, burning up on flames. And they'll be seeing this door towards paradise, towards Jannah, and they'll be rushing towards it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as soon as they reach the door, He will close it. And the believers, those who have firm belief, will be laughing at them. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Mutaffifin, in the last 3 verses of Surah Al-Mutaffifin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Most High He says in Surah Al-Mutaffifin, Al-Quran Al-Kareem, فَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنَ الْكُفَّارِ يَضْحَكُونَ. And those who believe will be laughing at the disbelievers. Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mock them on the day of judgment? They want to mock us. They want to belittle us. They want to destroy us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will destroy them. Let them continue their corruption on the face of the earth. On that day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will store up their punishment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says what? فَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنَ الْكُفَّارِ يَضْحَكُونَ. عَلَى الْأَرَائِكِ يَنْظُرُونَ. And the believers will be sitting on ornament couches, looking at the disbelievers laughing. This is why I always mention to everyone, as a Muslim, you don't know what you have. As a believer, you don't know what you have. We have the Quran, but we don't pick it up and read it. We have the Iman, we have the Islam. We don't know what it entails. This is why we have to look at the people of Palestine and we see true Iman, true belief. Allah continues in Surah Al-Mutaffifin. هل ثوب الكفار? Won't there be the reward? Isn't it the reward of the disbelievers? Such in despair and dishonor. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues in Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter concerning that. That indeed those people, those individuals amongst the Jews and the hypocrites, those who mock Allah, those who mock the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, those who mock the believers, those who disregard the believers, that day Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will mock them. On that day Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Most High will mock them. And this is why Allah mentioned previously, it says خَتَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ. He placed a seal upon their hearts. وَعَلَى سَمْعِهِمْ, and on their hearing. وَعَلَى بَصَارِهِمْ, and a seal upon it, listening. Meaning what? What does this mean? This is a metaphor. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is literally saying that indeed that their hearts are lost. And when your heart is misguided, when your heart is astray, when it is far from Iman, when it is far from faith, how can you be guided? How can you see what is the truth? This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues and He says, وَيَشْتَرُونَ, that they start to sell their guidance. بِالْهُدَى, they start to sell their guidance for misguidance. Because they can't see what is the right. They Because Allah has put in front of their faces what they are doing, what their corruption that they have brought about, they perceive it to be right. And they sell their guidance for that. It's guidance. Don't literally mean they purchase it. Meaning what? That indeed their heart is void of seeing the truth. Their hearts are void from seeing and feeling the truth. And some of the commentators of Al-Quran Al-Karim have mentioned that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about the hypocrites among the Jews and the Muslims, and He says, "When قُلْ قَوْلُوا إِنَّا نَحْنُ مُسْلِمُونَ," that indeed we are from those who do goodness, indeed we are those who bring about good. It was said that these people, the reason why they say this, the reason why they think that they bring about good, because they are deluded and far from the truth, and they go back to the people who they believe from amongst the hypocrites, the leaders amongst the hypocrites. They will go back to them and say, "We were only mocking Muhammad and his companions. We were only mocking Islam." And this is why each and every one of you have to stand for the truth. Many of us here, even those in the political field, even those who are joined to political parties, we have never heard any of them say anything against the Palestinians. And it is said that man sakata an al-haqq fahuwa shaytan akhras. The one who keeps quiet from the truth is a mute devil. The one who keeps quiet from the truth is a mute devil. Are all of you devils here? Because we always want to keep silent in the matters. How much of people you want to die? How much of children you want to see be buried? How many of the mothers you want to see running out of the hospitals after giving birth? The Muslim population is 1 billion, even more. And if even 1 million Muslims to stand against the Israelites, what would be the outcome? What would be the outcome? It would be far away from the truth. We want to see every single piece of Muslim massacre. My dear esteemed and beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, understand the words, understand the meanings, understand what your Lord is saying. His words is until the day of judgment. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Remember these wordings before you leave here. Memorize these wordings before you leave here. It might take you 12 years like Hazrat Umar. It might take you 8 years like the son of Hazrat Umar. It might take you less because we are more intelligent people. All of us have PhDs and doctorates. We tell when our son becomes this and that, oh, he gets his masters. We boast about it to others. I have never seen no one till now, I'm 33 years old. I have never seen no one boast about and say, my son is an alim. My son has memorized Surah Al-Baqarah. My son knows the rulings of Surah Al-Baqarah. My son does this. My son did that. My daughter become this. My daughter become that. This is why we hide ourselves from the truth. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for each and every one of us to understand and to perceive what is happening in the globe. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those to stand up for the truth. وأقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد في الأولين وصل على سيدنا مولانا محمد في الآخرين وصل على سيدنا مولانا محمد في النبيين وصل على سيدنا مولانا محمد في المرسلين وصل على سيدنا مولانا محمد في الملأ الأعلى إلى يوم الدين، خصوصا على الأفضل البشر بعد الأمر باحتقي أمير المؤمنين سيد أبي بكر الصديق رضي الله تعالى عنه، وعلى أمير المؤمنين سيد عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله تعالى عنه، وعلى أمير المؤمنين سيدنا عثمان بن عفان رضي الله تعالى عنه، وعلى أمير المؤمنين سيدنا علي بن أبي طالب رضي الله تعالى عنه، وعلى شباب أهل الجنة الحسن والحسين رضي الله تعالى عنهما، وعلى سيدة نساء أهل الجنة فاطمة الزهراء رضي الله تعالى عنها، وعلى سائر الصحابة أجمعين. يا عباد الله أيها الحاضرون اسمع هذا القول. Oh my beloved gathering, listen to the saying of beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that bayna adain, that between the two adhan, meaning what? The first adhan and the iqamah. Bayna adhanain, between the adhan and the iqamah, as-salah. There is a prayer, meaning dua. Salah in the Arabic language meaning dua. معنى الدعاء. الصلاة في هذه الحديث معنى الدعاء. That indeed the salah that is mentioned here in this hadith is referring to dua. That the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that between the two adhan, the adhan and the iqamah, a person who makes dua, فَاسْتَجَابَ لَهُ, it will be answered. It will be answered. How many of times, how much of us reach in the time for the adhan and between the iqamah to make the dua? For if you want it to be answered, because I know none of us are going to book a ticket and go and fight Israelites, no. I don't think no one is going to do that. So what you can do is make the dua. Oh Allah, destroy the oppressors. Make this dua. Oh Allah, make it easy for the Palestinians. Prophet Sallallahu said, what? Between the two adhan. The adhan for the salah and the iqamah for the salah. Make this dua. فَاسْتَجَابَ لَهُ, will be answered for him. اللهم اعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم انصر دين محمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم. اللهم انصر المسلمين في فلسطين. اللهم انصر المسلمين في غزة. اللهم انصر المسلمين في مختلف أماكن يا رب العالمين. إن الله يأمركم بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم ولذكر الله تعالى وعلى وعدم وأكبر وأهم والله يعلم ما تصنعون. أقيموا الصلاة.